So this is probably going to be my last scan tool review video for a little while, as a couple of months ago I reviewed this scan tool and it included something that most scan tools don't, which is going to be lifetime updates. The number one complaint I get from viewers about scan tools is the fact that they feel they're getting slapped yearly with the fees. But this really does include lifetime updates, so you will not get slapped yearly. Tell the truth! And for the last couple of months I have continued to use it, and they had another version out there which was going to be the Bluetooth version. And in this video I'm going to give you guys a little breakdown between the two different units. Hey everybody, welcome back to Randomfix. So I review a lot of scan tools, and scan tools can be very budget friendly, starting at maybe a couple $100, and they can go up into the thousands. So a couple of months ago, ThinkCar came out with a unit called the 6890, and I reviewed it. It was this wired version right here, and it was a really good scan tool, as it wasn't perfect, but included lifetime updates. And I'm going to show you guys throughout this video. If you guys like this kind of content and like learning about scan tools and which ones may be the right one for you, consider subscribing to the channel, and it lets YouTube know that I'm actually bringing you guys value, and I do appreciate it. So as you're watching this video, if the content is helpful, consider giving the video a thumbs up. So now let's go ahead and quickly discuss the differences of what's included in the package. Then we'll hop into a vehicle and address a concern that I get from a lot of viewers on how to go ahead and deal with a certain condition on a vehicle. And I'm going to show you guys on each vehicle, the strategy is a little different. So you have to learn how to work with these scan tools. So now let's talk about what's included. And this is the Bluetooth version, this is the wired version. Came in the same exact dimension box, and both of them come with a soft shell case that includes a USB-C cable, 3 different tips for the power brick, and the owner's manual. And what differs on the Bluetooth version, they include a little bit more. And so again, the wired version came with the owner's manual, USB-C cable, and the power brick. And on the Bluetooth version, we also get an adapter. So if I need to go and connect to a vehicle that has DOIP, and this is going to be for the newer vehicles such as Jaguars, this would plug into here. You would plug this into the vehicle, and you would have an Ethernet connection right here. So these are not included on the wired version. So now let's talk about the main differences between the two units. So obviously it's going to be Bluetooth and the fact that this is wireless. However, the unit itself is the same. So they both have an 8-inch display, 4 gigs of RAM, and 64 gigs of storage. And after you install all the updates, which is very easy, you could just do it with a click of a button. You go to upgrades, and updating the software is easy. Just click it and it'll happen in the background. So the vehicle communication interface is going to allow me to work wirelessly, so I could be in the comfort of my garage as I work on the vehicle in case it's really hot or cold outside. Additionally, it has this really nice feature where the communication interface here just snaps into place, and I actually kind of like that. It looks cool. They both feature this new design. The kickstand on both of them is really nicely built. It's got a textured feel, and they both feature this new user interface, and it's very simple to navigate. So I could hit diagnose, maintenance, upgrades, and more. And in case I don't know what a feature is, it's actually described to me here on the bottom. And if you're a professional and you're using these all the time, you can just go to the list view and select the option that you're looking for. And towards the end of the video, we'll talk about if this is something I would recommend for DIY or professional use. And I'll leave you guys a link to the review video for the wired version, as I go a lot more into depth as far as operating the device. On this video, I am going to try to focus a little bit more on the differences and some of the nuances you have to understand when you own a scan tool like this. Now let's go ahead and hop into a vehicle. So I got the Bluetooth version plugged into a Toyota here, and some of the differences I noticed between the wired and wireless version is, on the wireless version, it doesn't tell me the vehicle's voltage right up here. It just shows that it's connected. So that is not really helpful information. Whenever you're troubleshooting a vehicle, you want to know what the vehicle's battery's voltage is, as if it's too low, certain tests won't be conducted and you could get bad diagnostic information. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, on the wireless Bluetooth version here, you're going to have a lot more freedom. So you can walk around the vehicle and activate components without having to jump in the driver's seat every couple of seconds. So that is definitely something that you need to consider and decide on which one is better for you. On a previous video, I did say I like the wired version better for somebody that's going to be using it for home DIY once in a while, and I still feel that same way. But if you're going to be using this for more than 2 or 3 times a year, as the only drawback to the Bluetooth version is the fact that the battery on this does not get charged as it's being used. On the wired version, it gets charged as it's being used by the vehicle. This has a 4,150 milliamp battery, and over the years the battery is going to obviously not perform as well, so that's going to be one less concern on the wired version. Let's go ahead and do some troubleshooting, and I'll tell you guys about a common question I get from viewers. So this week I have been getting a lot of questions about misfires and how to deactivate cylinders, and if this particular scan tool has power balance or how it does misfire counts. This is a very complicated question, as we don't all own the same make. So the strategy you have to take is different because different makes have different diagnostic procedures. So on this Toyota, I'm going to show you guys how I would go through and cut off the fuel to a select cylinder, and on the Dodge it's going to be completely different. And then I'll show you guys even a much higher scan tool and how it compares to this $400 scan tool, and you might be a little surprised. And that other scan tool is over $1,600. So let me show you guys how to shut off the fuel on this Toyota, and then we'll jump into the Dodge. The vehicle is on, says ready. This is a hybrid vehicle. I'm going to hit VIN. It's going to scan the vehicle. I'm going to choose my region with Smart Key. And both scan tools can run health reports, special functions. I want to focus on the issue, which is going to be shutting off fuel to a particular cylinder, and I'm going to choose the engine control module, hit OK. Actuation tests, scroll down to the very bottom here, control the select cylinder fuel cutoff. I'm going to hit OK. Now I can choose one of 4 cylinders to shut the fuel off to. So this is a hybrid and the motor normally doesn't run. So I'm going to give it a little gas, and now the motor is running, it's idling. Choose cylinder number 1. I could go ahead and turn on this feature, and I turned it on and the engine is really running rough now. So that made a difference, and now I am more certain that my issue is not cylinder number 1. I would do the same for cylinder number 2 and cylinder number 3. Now let's just say I go down to cylinder number 4 and I turn this on and it makes no difference. In that case, I would be more certain that cylinder number 4 is my issue, as it made no difference when I shut off the fuel. If I shut off the fuel, there should be a noticeable difference in the engine's performance. Now let's go ahead and jump into the Dodge, and we'll have to take a whole different way of trying to find out which cylinder could be my issue as far as the misfire. And I'm going to show you guys that not everything is going to be so simple. And the nice thing with this particular scan tool is it actually has this particular button down here where you could submit a request and you can talk to somebody. And I'll keep you guys updated on this because I've actually been trying this out for a little bit. 2 months ago, this wasn't even working. So thumbs up to them for fixing that. And the nice thing is I can actually carry on the conversation on my phone. So the nice thing is I can scan this QR code and I can have a text conversation with the technician. How cool is that? So the online services has definitely improved. Now let's go ahead and jump into that Dodge. And during this video, if you get super excited and you decide you actually want to buy either the wired or the wireless version, make sure that you guys check the video description box down below, as I have a 20% off coupon and it features a lower price as well. Now, if you're new to scan tools and you want to learn how to better navigate this particular scan tool and the menu system, check the wired version review, which can be found in the video description box down below, as that is a lot more in depth. And if there's something that's not answered in the video, please comment and I'll be sure to get back to you. Now I'm in a 2014 Dodge, and if you happen to have a newer Dodge, just know that this 689 wired and wireless versions do work with the bypass cables, so you don't have to really pay that extra $50 a year if you have a 2019 plus Chrysler, Dodge, or Jeep vehicle. That is awesome. So let's go ahead and try that same menu that we got in the Toyota, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about here. Now I'm at the main menu again. I'm going to choose System Selection, Power Control Module, Actuation Tests, and if you scroll to the very bottom here, you guys will notice that particular option as far as the fuel cutoff, it's not here. And if I selected the fuel injector control state here, this only works when the vehicle's engine is off. That doesn't really help me as far as figuring out if I have a particular cylinder that is running a little rough. So really, I don't have a way of going with this. If I did try to do it, I would get this error right here. And if you guys are getting these errors, the best thing you can do for yourself and the scan tool is to submit feedback requests, as this is going to give them more information and the scan tool becomes better. And during this video, I think you're going to realize there's no such thing as a perfect scan tool unless you have a really big budget. And again, I can go through live data as well. However, on live data, there is going to be no misfire count, so that's not good. And to make things even worse, they still haven't added a search function, so I literally have to go through 200 and something fields to figure out what I'm looking for. But the nice thing is it's actually in alphabetical order, which makes it a little bit easier. But no misfire count is available. Okay, so here's what I would do in this situation. And again, just like you guys, I live and learn. So if you guys have a better method, please comment down below. It's crazy, I was recording this video and sorry it got dark, but we actually had a tornado warning. So I had to put the basketball hoop and other things away. And basically we have to go through OBD2 as the misfire data was nowhere to be found. Now I'm going to test results on onboard monitoring tests, mode 6. And if you scroll down to the very bottom, misfire, cylinder 1 data, cylinder 2 data, and so on. So it gives me all 6 cylinders. I can actually go through here and pinpoint which cylinder has the misfires. And when I ran this earlier, this was at 6. And we'll check the other cylinders. So this is cylinder 2, 0, cylinder 3, 0, cylinder 4, 0, and so on. But if my vehicle was misfiring, again, you have to take a different approach on every vehicle. And now let me show you guys the $1,600 scan tool hooked up to the same vehicle and what it does. So as you can see, troubleshooting is not as easy as it seems. You really do have to play around with the scan tool and the scan tool on that particular vehicle, and it can change from year to year. So let me go ahead and show you guys the same vehicle here on a $1,600 scan tool, and I'll let you guys decide for yourself. So this is a $1,600 scan tool and it has these special functions. Again, I am hooked up to the Dodge, the vehicle is running, and on this particular scan tool it actually has a power balance mode. Now you might get really excited and say this is exactly what we need, so you click on it, but you soon realize that Dodge is not on this menu. So as I've been saying, there's no such thing as a perfect scan tool, whether you pay $500-600 or you pay $1,600. Now let's go ahead and jump to the bench where I will give this a Randomfix tool grade and you guys can decide for yourself. So I really like the ThinkCar 689 scan tools, and whether you go with the wired or the wireless version, I think you're going to be very happy. And overall, I think they have definitely made some improvements as the tech support is actually working and they responded back. So I'll keep you guys posted throughout the video and also in the video description box down below on how good the support really is. So that is definitely nice to see. Overall, I think these scan tools are great. They have a new layout. It's got a fresh feel to it. And for beginners, they do a great job of explaining everything. Everything is summarized at the bottom. And I don't think they can be beat for the price, especially the fact that these are including in lifetime updates. Makes it a no-brainer. And for home DIY mechanics that are going to use it once or twice a year, the wired version is a good choice. If you like to tinker around with your vehicles or you're a professional mechanic, the Bluetooth version is definitely the way to go. And I think for any professional mechanic, they should always have a backup scan tool. And this would be the scan tool that I keep, as if I'm using this to make money, I want to make sure it doesn't cost me a lot of money to maintain. And the lifetime updates definitely do ensure that. Again, the easiest registration I've ever seen. I just connected to Wi-Fi and didn't ask for an email address because the updates are all included. And everything is easy to manage. There's not much to worry about. Whether you have a Chrysler vehicle that requires FCA authorization or through AutoAuth, this particular scan tool as well as this work with the bypass cables. So you're definitely going to save a lot more by getting those bypass cables. Additionally, if you have a Jaguar and some of the newer vehicles, they require DOIP, which is Diagnostics over Internet Protocol. Both of these units can handle that. And if you have a newer GM vehicle, they require CAN-FD, which both of these units support. And overall, I'm going to go and give this a Randomfix tool grade of 85 out of 100, which is a slight improvement compared to the wired version, because when I tested this one, some of the help functions didn't even work. Additionally, the more I play with this, the more I like it. And as promised, I told you I would keep you updated. And so the scan tool itself continues to operate without any glitches. Technical support is a whole nother issue. If you ask a question, you're most likely not going to get a response back within 12 hours. When you are planning a repair and you're not sure how to do it or where to look up the information, ask the question 72 hours in advance, and don't be surprised when you get a canned response. However, I still like this scan tool, and I think it's going to be my recommendation for any DIY home mechanic. And I'll leave you guys that link for the 20% off coupon down below, as well as at the end of the video, including the wired version. You guys will find those end cards here. If there's anything in this video that I left out that you feel is very important and pertains to the scan tool, please let me know down in the comment box. And thank you so much for watching the video, and make it a great day.
Say that again? Lifetime updates.
That was not part of the skit.
Say what? Lifetime updates? Tell the truth.